what do you think happened to Markus Jooste?
Well, the news article says Markus Jooste passed away in March. He died by suicide, and he was taken away, I guess. Markus Jooste is no more. That's what it says.
That's the crazy thing, because majority of people were asking as to, well, we never saw the hospital where he was taken to, was never really specified. We didn't see the body. Markus Jooste is not the only person. A lot of this speculation have literally risen around. What do you think of that, bro?
I think it's such a convenient tool for someone in a position like that to use. I mean, you did mention that there are several people that have done that outside Markus Jooste, of course.
Exactly.
Thabo Bester wouldn't have been the originator, but I think that's the closest reference we have. Yeah. For those of you watching at home. But it's super convenient, because think about it. What business do we have with dead people at the end of the day? Not much at all, right?
Yeah, like in the case of Markus Jooste, we all know that. I think it was on the 20th, the Hawks, right?
Yeah, the Hawks wanted him.
A message was sent to him and told him, guess what? You need to present yourself on the 22nd of March in court, and you're gonna be charged for fraud, cooking of books, racketeering.
Yeah, it was a lot.
A whole lot of things. And yes, he was fined, I think, was it 475?
That's a hefty fine, bro.
Exactly, 475 million rand this man was charged. And so, well, that's quite a lot, more especially if you're in the custody. Guess what? You can't run, you can't escape.
No, you couldn't.
Exactly.
You couldn't.
So they gave you a day. What would you do?
Well, unless you're feeling like playing Powerball like 5 times over and winning every single time in 12 hours.
Bro, imagine, bro.
I don't know.
So what's the best thing to do? Pull a disappearing trick.
Vanish.
That's the thing. I mean, you can pay off the media.
You could.
Yeah.
You've got enough money. I mean, if I was faced with a situation like that, my back's against the wall, everything's looking like it's going downhill, and I've got some sort of influence that I can actually escape that situation.
Bro.
Many people would. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Personally, I will admit it. I would. And it would be in fact, I wouldn't even do it the night before. I would have done it the minute you found out that I committed fraud. I think, when was he charged? Was it 2017?
Yeah, from 2017, that's when he actually had to resign and the charges were brought up, and he was under the microscope from about that time.
No, but he was supposed to be charged by then.
By 2017.
And people
already
started asking the question as to why is he not getting charged? Of course, some of his properties were seized before, but still, it took 6 years for a person to be charged, bro.
No, that's way too long. That's actually more than enough time to plan something like this.
Exactly. I personally would have faked my death after 2 years.
Yeah, probably. I mean, look, I think the sooner you do it, the better, don't you think?
Yeah, the sooner you do it, the better. Because, I mean, there is a high probability you won't get caught. It'll be orchestrated on point.
Exactly.
There's no loose ends to it. So there's a high probability you get away with it clean.
And you've got more time to enjoy your new life. Like, why would I wait around for 6 years pending the result of something that could sink me? And then at the last minute, I'm like, okay, cool. This is how I'm going to escape. Now, year 1.5, not even 2 years, I'm already out of here. Bro.
Yeah, personally, I'm gonna be out.
I live in Gibraltar now. My name is Sven. You have no idea who I am.
Exactly. And majority of people don't even know where that is.
Nope.
Exactly.
Hit us up in the comments if you know where Gibraltar is. Tell us the capital, and we might do something nice for you.
So yes, guys, we don't want to go a lot into Markus Jooste because we did a video already. Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys can go check out that video where we literally talk about the whole fraudulent scheme and how he pulled it off and the companies he was running. Great. So who else, bro? Because I mean, there's a list of people we're gonna be covering today. Who else pulled that trick?
Well, funny enough, you don't have to go too far. You actually look right here in South Africa, and it's so weird because now you've got people more or less in the same bracket as Jooste who have disappeared under some very shady circumstances.
Exactly.
Person of interest, Mr. Gavin Watson. If that name rings a bell, you're in the know. If it doesn't, let's hit you up a little bit with the backstory.
So basically, it's a judicial commission set forth to investigate fraud in government space, in the public spaces overall. So, and yes, to just investigate state capture, because that was the main thing. And it was divided into 3 parts, right? The first part, of course, stated other things. I think the second part was the Guptas as well. The third part, guess what the third part was all about?
What was the third part about?
Just guess.
I would say third parts, if we're ruling out corruption and state capture, political interference from outside sources.
That's it, but from a specific entity.
From a specific entity. One specific entity was
Took
meddling.
a whole chapter, bro. Like a part.
And in a whole part. One
part.
person.
It was dedicated to one entity.
Person, entity. This is a big fish then.
Gavin Watson.
Huh. Gavin Watson, funny enough, for those of you who didn't know, was a anti-apartheid activist at some point.
Yes, he was.
So famously in the 70s, Gavin Watson and his brothers defied the apartheid laws when they played rugby, right? They stepped down from an all-white rugby league and chose to play rugby with people of color, black people, which was illegal. I believe it was in 1976. So from then on, Gavin Watson was under the microscope from the apartheid government. He was threatened. He was threatened with jail time. There were all the usual suspects in terms of what the apartheid government could do and did do to him and his brothers.
And he was shunned from his community.
And he was obviously shunned from his community because then he would have been sleeping with the enemy, for lack of a better phrase.
Exactly.
So Gavin Watson, being the apartheid activist that he was, set up a few businesses in Port Elizabeth catering to the black majority, which was very much frowned upon. On top of that fact, he gained a lot of brownie points.
Yes, he did.
He gained a lot of points within the black community. And
he could speak Xhosa.
Yes.
Fluently.
He's a Port Elizabeth boy, so his Xhosa was... No offense, the clicks, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, he...
Yeah, we get the point, yeah.
So now, he... After I think at some point he became a member of the ANC. Enter 1990, the ANC is officially no longer an illegal entity. They can partake in political connections. And now
they became the government.
They are the government. Now you have people of interest who have already been in cahoots with the ANC from the 70s.
Exactly.
Coming into the forefront. And then that's where things start becoming a bit more interesting for Watson. Watson starts using his connections in the ANC to get large government tenders. And if you're in the know, you can't work with the government unless you've got a black majority in the ownership circle. So
exactly.
They would front people of color in their companies so they could get mining concessions, get contracts from the government. So they use the famous BEE law.
Exactly.
And through that, he found himself in a very, nice position.
He found himself in a nice position. I mean, what is this company? Is it not... It's a catering company, they say. It's a logistic company.
It's a logistics. Bosasa technically is logistics, but
yeah.
They've done prison catering. They've done, you name it.
Theirs is to set up fences for governmental facilities. Cameras and all these things, right? Yes, of course, you need tenders for that.
Absolutely.
For one company to somehow be given all the responsibilities. And not only that, bro, these people had been getting investigated since I think 2004, 2006 to 2009. There had been an investigation going on these individuals.
So they've been investigated, but then that begs the question, if they'd been doing business with governments and they taking advantage of the BEE law, and that then means that they are indirectly or even directly involving members of governments in their business affairs as a way to gain favors, of course, and win those tenders.
Yeah.
Who was investigating them?
So there was this particular journalist, I think, who took a big interest into this whole entire company. Adrian Basson. He works now with News 24.
Okay.
Right? So he was doing an investigation into them. Guess what? This journalist is the one that actually blew this thing out of proportion, because he was informed as well to say, hey, guess what? There's this particular company that is getting favors with the government all entirely. And the suspicion that this company is enriching government officials, government officials as well, because what they will do is file for tenders, right? It's approved. Whoever pulled the favors in government spaces will also eat some amount given to them as well.
Goes without saying.
Exactly. So Adrian, Mr. Adrian, one time received a call. He was on vacation with his wife. And this lady begins to ask him, are you Adrian? Do you live at this place?
Whoa.
Bro.
Yeah, no, that's dangerous. How did she know all these things?
Does your brother work here? Your relatives, one of your relatives, your cousin, this and that.
So you're setting up the premise for blackmail.
Yeah. He says, oh no, he didn't want to answer. So he tells her, please call me some other time. I think they did get on the call again. So this is him saying all these things that happened back then, I think 2009, somewhere there. Cool. So this person tells Adrian what school he went to, the marks he got, every single detail. Bro. Then she begins now to warn him, because remember, that's the premise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then she tells him he needs to back off, let him stop this investigation that he's trying to do and the exposure that he's trying to do. That was back in 2009.
That's 15 years ago.
Exactly, bro.
Who was he investigating? He was investigating
Bosasa.
Absolutely.
Gavin Watson.
He knew.
Exactly. He knew.
When you look at it very carefully, like, he was up against the wall, but then he wasn't in on it alone, was he?
So Angela Greasy was basically one of the people, because now we're not working with Adrian anymore, and the people that were doing their investigation from outside Bosasa.
Those were scared. They scared them off long time ago.
They did, but
sent them running for the
exactly.
hills.
So, bro, you can't deal with people who are working in government, because, bro, and they're telling you where you live and everything.
Yeah, no, enough, bro. Tell me where I live already, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm off the case. Calm. No.
Yeah, that's enough. I want you mentioned family members when they were born and everything. It's
mentioned what my dog's name is. What? No. Not Snoopy. No.
Please, not Snoopy. Don't kill my Snoopy. Angela Greasy, who was the COO, Chief Operating Officer at Bosasa. But remember, he went off because they had a whole issue with Gavin Watson. They had a bad form.
Okay, so they fell out and he left.
So he left the company. Guess what? During August 2018, this man says, oh no, I want to be a whistleblower.
Ooh. He turns against his former associates.
Yeah, he says, I want to be a whistleblower.
Now, this is interesting because he's got the scoop on what other people would have had speculatively.
Exactly.
He knows in detail. And he can bring to light with a bit more accuracy. I'm sure the records that he's bringing are so much more concise.
Bro, names, bro.
Names, dates,
names,
details.
Names, bro. He's told, oh no, it's fine. We can bribe you with 50 million rands. That's how much money they were playing with, bro.
50 M's to bribe.
Keep quiet, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Gavin Watson famously called bribe money monopoly money. There's a video that circulated where he was in an undisclosed warehouse with a bunch of people, and they were throwing these bands around, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and they laughed and like, this is monopoly money. Must have been like $1 million. So couple of stacks, that's $1 million, and that is quote unquote play money. So 50 M's is probably like $50 to people like that. Yeah. Who knows?
Bro, his office. That was his office.
That was his office. So he was hiding millions in his office.
Oh yes, they used to keep millions in the office.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, from like 4 to 6.
There's been tales of people getting special favors in Louis bags stuffed with money. You name it, so many different methods.
Yes, they didn't want to pass it through
Yeah, through the systems.
No. Cash. They were dealing in cash.
But then, of course, that makes sense. If you're gonna wire somebody that much money, it's gonna raise so many eyebrows. Somebody's gonna be like, "Why is this money going there?
And where is it from?
Where is it coming from?
For what?"
There we go.
Exactly. So guess what? This man started blowing the whistle, right? And I think I think his confession and whatever took place, I think 2019. So this man starts telling, because he refused the 50 million. Because bro, who are you to refuse 50 million? That means you have the money.
Yeah, you do. Probably one of two scenarios. Okay, I disqualify the first scenario. I was gonna say you have the money, but you got better morals. Or situation number two, you know something that you could use to leverage and get more than 50 million, no matter who you're working with. But 50 million is 50 million, bro, no matter how you choose to look at it. I want to go off the first point and say probably your better judgment, or you're seeing the writing on the wall that even if I have 50 million, this house of cards is going to come tumbling down, and if I'm stuck in there, 50 million will mean nothing.
Okay, most probably.
Yeah.
But he was compensated, like when he left the company, bro.
Yeah.
You should see the amount of money they gave him. I think it was equivalent to 50 million as well.
Okay.
That's how much he got.
His,
so how much was
severance package?
Yes, exactly. So how much was he making during those periods? Because he worked with them from 99, bro, till the time he left.
Okay, yeah. He had a hefty sum,
bro.
But 50 million is still 50 million, bro.
I know 50 million is still 50 million, but some people, again, I think it goes back to your point, which is you're just looking at the consequences and repercussions that might follow, and you're just like, this is not worth it.
Yeah, man, there's a time where I think probably you could be like, you know what, it's 50 million, but I can do without it. I'm still comfortable without this extra 50 million.
Exactly. So that's what this man did. And okay, also other former like executives also followed, but yeah. So this man confessed that, guess what, the president was involved. The president used to get about 300,000 monthly.
Who's this president?
Jacob. Yes. Okay. So monthly, the president used to get money, and other names also were implicated. So they used to pay them monthly. Bro, there was money laundering as well involved in the company. A lot of fraud. And for all their tenders they ever got, that was through bribery.
They didn't get one legit tender.
No, unfortunately.
Bro. So then that means they were never qualified to do the work in the first place.
Yeah, I think the anti-apartheid participation actually qualified them.
I see, yes. That's kind of like the natural evolution of these relationships. People are gonna leverage off the fact that we were buddies during the struggle, and those buddy relationships quickly become some sort of business association. And then when you look at it very carefully, the business association basically becomes a syndicate.
Yep, and that's what that turned into. So they were doing all that until now. Confession, that was 2019, I think February or somewhere there. Confession, Angelo Agrizi confessed. Great. Now this man is implicated. Okay. Gavin Watson.
Gavin Watson unfortunately passed away in August 2019. He crashed his car on the way to the airport.
Okay, passed away.
In inverted commas, passed away. That's what the reports officially tell us. But then, if you look at the circumstances of his death, you start to see many gaps in the order of events, in the logical order of events. There's quite a few gaps, and there's a few loopholes that till this day, many people are still looking through, and you are not quite seeing where the connections are supposed to be made. Right? Let's start with the method of Gavin Watson's passing.
Okay.
It was a car crash.
Yes, it was.
Okay, so Gavin Watson drives the company car,
which he never.
I don't think he. Yeah.
Yeah, he has never driven at all.
So that only tells me one thing.
What?
He's trying to create a smoke trail. Like that, him not driving his car is kind of like him not being able to be traced. Because anybody could have taken the Bosasa car. Anyone who works for Bosasa logically.
Anyone. This man did not take his phone. He took nothing, bro.
He had 70 rand. Mind you, this is the same guy who said stacks of money was what? Monopoly money. Had 70 bucks in his pocket and no phone. And he took the company car.
And he was going for a meeting.
At, guess what time? 5 in the morning. Where was he going?
It does not make sense. Plane departures can take place 5 in the morning.
Yeah, possible. I'm sure. But here's where it gets a bit interesting.
What?
That flight to Port Elizabeth,
Yeah.
he wasn't a passenger.
There was a flight to Port Elizabeth.
He wasn't a scheduled passenger for the flight that corresponded with the time that he was headed to the airport.
Okay. So he had other plans?
There was a flight that was going to PE, yes, around that time.
Okay.
He wasn't a passenger on that flight. Why was he going there in the first place? Some people say, was he trying to leave the country?
Do you think he was trying to leave the country and something like unfortunate like that happened?
You know what? I'd like to say maybe, but then the fact that he unfortunately lost his life on the way there just like raises a few eyebrows on my end as well.
I personally still don't believe the losing his life.
This is why I don't believe it either.
Yeah, I in as much as people might say, oh no, it's conspiracy theories. Personally, I do not believe it. One of the reasons being is because there's a lot of gaps.
There's too many gaps.
If the whole event occurred, there's a lot of gaps. He was behaving odd.
He wasn't being his normal self.
Exactly.
He was behaving very oddly. Mm-hmm. It's like he was trying to get away. Think about it this way. Let's paint you a picture. I'm running away. I don't want you to know who I am. So I'm going to behave like a very low-key person. This maybe explains why I don't have my phone with me. Mm-hmm. I've maybe corresponded with somebody to pick me up at the airport or whatever. I've got 70 rand in my pocket to make it like, I don't really have money like that. I'm driving a Toyota Corolla. That's like an average standard car. Mm-hmm. He didn't want people to know it like he was going somewhere. Clearly.
He didn't want no traces of him.
No traces of him, basically. Yeah. But then again, cause of death. What happened?
Accident. That's all I know.
He crashed into
a pillar
on the way to the airport.
Yeah, just at the entrance of the airport. And guess what? CCTV stopped working.
Miraculously.
Just like that. Boom. Stopped working. Cameras were not working. No one saw anything. Blah, 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 blah. It was just in the blanks.
So no CCTV footage of him crashing into there. Going there at an odd time in the morning.
It's funny how cameras stopped working. Or rather, cameras always stop working when somebody is about to fake their death.
Conveniently, cameras are nowhere to be found.
Thabo Bester is about to escape and is about to die. Guess what? Boop, cameras stop working.
CCTV is gone.
Jeffrey Epstein, cameras stop working. Markus Jooste,
cameras stopped working.
This Incredible. Man escaped.
Now, did they say, because he had a wound on his neck when he crashed, didn't he? Yes. But no trace of blood on his person.
Or rather, there's a probability that it's not him.
Mm-hmm. He fits the description, but there's a probability that it isn't even him. Mm-hmm. So they're not even sure if this is Gavin Watson.
They're not sure.
The cops got there and immediately summoned paramedics and the fire departments. But then the scene of the crime, I don't know, was anything ever discovered from there? Clues as to what could have caused his quote-unquote death?
No, that was the end of it, and case closed. He was not implicated.
Gavin Watson basically escaped that.
Yeah, he disappeared.
Through passing away.
Yeah, he disappeared.
He disappeared from there. Mm-hmm. I can imagine how big that inquiry document must have been. It must have been pages long. If the document on Jooste alone was a 3,000-page memorandum, what about the Zondo Commission, bro?
Quite a lot, bro.
And he took a third of that.
So I can imagine why he escaped.
Well, yeah, imagine. That's It's a good way of saying it. I can imagine why it escaped.
Exactly. So that's a good one. Yeah. So I would imagine why you would escape. Why are you on the run? So that was that on Gavin Watson, and I think another reference we have in South Africa is Brett Kebble, and I think for most people that don't know, I mean, just a summary of it: multi gold.
Yeah, mining magnates.
Yeah, exactly. And he was a billionaire. He made a lot of money. And funny enough, Gavin Watson's brothers worked for Brett Kebble,
okay,
back in the early 90s when Kebble, I think, took over Rand Gold. And yeah, so they were running that company. I mean, he was the CEO on a lot of boards.
Yeah.
He was the owner and CEO of JCI as well, Johannesburg Consolidated Investment, and other companies as well. I know Rand Gold Resources.
I see. Because Brett passed in 05.
Exactly.
What was he doing before that? How was he implicated in this whole thing?
In his fraudulent schemes and stuff like that.
Yes.
Well, he sold off shares. And they would, it's fraud. And they were cooking books again.
Oh, I see. So
it's just like Markus Jooste.
But then that means those shares were sold using dodgy means.
Exactly, yeah.
So those shares were probably, they were sold under the table, or the value was inflated on purpose.
All the shares in numbers, that's equivalent to like 30 plus billion rand.
30 plus billion rand.
Exactly.
Yo, that's a very high share price, eh?
Mm-hmm.
That's money, bro.
That's a lot of money, but then again, guess what? The House of Cards came tumbling down on him, and this man, it happened that this man hired to perform on him. Yes, let's put it, perform on him. Assisted suicide.
Oh,
euthanasia. This man.
Yo, bro, that's crazy. Because I read that the type of bullets that was used is a specialized kind of bullet. It's like assassin and hitman grade. You don't just bump into that. It's like silencer type things. Like you don't just, not the common man will not have access to this kind of ammunition. So that's specialty security forces and people that are in those upper echelons of military expertise and things like that.
Bro, you know what? It goes deep. This goes deep. A lot of people say no, it was not assisted suicide. They were killing him.
So his people turned on him, basically.
They turned on him.
But why would they? Why bite the hand that feeds you?
That's the thing.
Why kill the cash cow?
Bro, it does not make sense.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of people said, like, I think his father says, oh no, he knew a lot of people. Is it Roger Kebble? He says, oh no, he knew a lot of people and he had a lot of secrets, so there's a high probability that he would have implicated these individuals. So that's why they wanted him out.
I see.
And a lot of these individuals were government officials. Because, by the way, when Zuma was still part of the Youth League,
he was dealing with
a lot of money. Because remember, he needed protection from government and all these individuals. He needed favors. So guess what? He donated, I think it should have been, if I'm correct, in the millions. I think above 20 million.
To the ANC.
To the ANC, the Youth League, during Zuma's time. That's when he was friends with Zuma as well. So he was part of the ANC at one point. Yeah, bro, it's quite a lot. We know Jackie Salebi as well, the former the national commissioner of police.
Yeah,
national commissioner.
Former police commissioner.
Police commissioner. How they met was through crazy means. There was this kingpin, a drug kingpin, Glenn Agliotti. Exactly. Glenn Agliotti. I think that's how they met, with the fee of 1 million.
That's the meeting fee.
Yes, that's a meeting fee. That.
Oh man.
I know, right?
You know what? My goal is to one day be so influential that if you want to see me, you'll pay me Glenn Agliotti money, and I'll give you like a 10-minute meeting.
But the thing is, this is a chief of police, bro.
Yeah, talking to a drug kingpin is basically like committing treason, bro.
Exactly, and the drug kingpin is telling Brett Kebble that if you want that relationship, you need to give me $1 million. And it stated that, guess what? After that, the whole meeting was initiated. Jackie Celebi started enjoying time, spending so much time with Brett Kebble as well. They had that relationship.
So now they're buddies through that drug kingpin connection.
Exactly, because at this point, guess what? He needs protection. He needs a lot of people to protect.
He does.
But now the question is, why these connections? That's the question. Does it feed into his father's suspicion
that he knew a lot of people?
He knew a lot of people and they were coming after him.
Could be, because then look, the moment you're dealing with drug kingpins and corrupt cops, you dealing with the mafia now. You've got so many mob ties that you've surrounded yourself with many swords and many shields at exactly the same time. Yes, there's like a wall around you. These people are bad people. They can kill whoever you want. But then never forget that you are actually enclosed. And they could just as easily turn around and now you've got like all these swords pointed at you. So if you want to get out of that circle, if you want to do something and they're not with that, there's got to be consequences.
So this assisted suicide of his, he consulted Glenn Agliotti as well to help him.
To help him with the assisted suicide.
Yeah, he was involved as well. So it was bad.
He's a man with nothing to lose.
Basically, has
dangerous
nothing
person.
To lose. But the question is, bro, who would go out seeking assisted for someone to shoot him and kill him?
Bro, I can't think of that because personally I can't relate. But if my back was against the wall and now even the wall feels sharp, like I'm going to be impaled by the wall, that could be a possible way out.
Yeah. Well, you guys tell us, because there's a lot of missing pieces in this whole case. Because the evidence, the whole place where he was killed, evidence was scattered. He was killed in one place, then they found the car in another place. Police scattered everything. So, and they took the car. When they brought the car back to the police, it was cleaned of all evidence.
Jeez.
So there's a lot of missing puzzles in this.
Yes, missing pieces everywhere.
Exactly.
So that means all of these individuals, I mean, circumstances are just telling you that you don't have a complete story. So are they really dead?
That's the question. Are they really dead? Because some person some time back stated that they came across Brett Kebble. I don't know where.
Whoa!
But,
someone actually said they came across.
Yeah, that was that was a conspiracy. Say I came across someone who looked like Brett Kebble, exactly like Brett Kebble.
Exactly like him.
Exactly like him.
Yeah, but the audacity, bro. I mean, come on, change your physical features at least, bro. If I had to pull for lack of a better phrase, pull a Bester, I probably would do the opposite of what Bester did. I would move far away for one, and then secondly, just like, I don't know, plastic surgery or something, bro. Like
no, but remember, this is not the age of the internet, though. Brett Kebble's time.
Fine, it's not the age of the internet, but come on, he's Brett Kebble. He's a billionaire. He's traveled a lot. Plastic surgery is nothing new. Like, he knew about these things.
But then, they were coming against him, bro.
Yeah.
Because these are companies. You're gonna have to face charges in different places.
Jeez. Yeah.
In different, not only South Africa.
You've got arrest warrants everywhere, like
bro, everywhere. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's gonna come down on you. So I would understand why he pulled a Bester. Yes. He pulled a disappearing trick. So I would understand. And there are still questions left to this whole entire case. So okay, but if I had a lot of money, bro, I would escape.
You would escape?
Yeah, if I'm in a tough pickle, bro.
I mean, look, bro, people have said the same about Tupac, right? Like, he pulled a Machiavelli and just, he was like, you know what, this is too much for me. Fake my own death, escape.
That's how you erase all issues.
Do you, though?
Yeah, you somehow do erase. Who's going to be, bro, I was not involved. Your kids were not involved in that company.
Your kids were not involved in that company, but they will be judged whether or not you like it. Even if it's not directly. Indirectly, the stigma sticks, bro. The name.
Okay. Just the like name the Madoff thingy.
Yeah, the name just sticks with you. You've got this shame around you. Like, people know. And who's to say that you would have learned your lesson? I could pull a Machiavelli and escape, and then old habits die hard and come back, and all of a sudden I'm involved with gangsters in Gibraltar, and now I've got to pull that again a second time. You know,
okay,
it's
true.
Yeah, I don't know about it being But then again, man, it's just that or like a lot of jail time. What would you rather choose?
Yeah, not jail time.
You're not choosing jail
I want to
time.
be free. Like, I really want to be free.
Yeah.
So I personally would pull that. I would literally just disappear off the face of the earth, and me not in existence means my problems won't be in existence.
Yeah, it's pulling a peacock, eh?
Exactly.
Bury your head in the sand.
And all your problems will disappear. What about Machiavelli?
Well, his principles don't exactly state that one should kill themselves to avoid their problems. They simply preach self-reliance and being shrewd about how you do things. It's more strategies about cunning and how one in a position of power should behave themselves to maintain that power, to rise above the situation they're in, and to ultimately outsmart and outmaneuver their enemies.
Well, death is one of them. You can outsmart your enemies through that.
First, or one of the precepts of war, according to Sun Tzu, is that all warfare is based on deception.
Exactly. What about the Trojan horse?
Voila. All warfare is based on deception.
Was it not a gift? The Trojan horse was a gift.
It was exactly a gift.
Yeah, it was a gift. Then, ta-da!
Bunch of dudes hiding in there, and before you know it, surprise!
Surprise! Yeah, you need to outsmart your enemies. It's like, wait, the gift is there to bite me. The gift is to bite me. So, you know what? And some say, I would pull the same thing, bro.
I don't know.
Isn't it there's something they can give to you that lessens your heartbeat to the point where we can't even detect it?
Exactly.
Inject me 5 of those. Okay, no, five is overdose.
Probably die. Yeah.
5 is overdose. But inject me like
just a couple, maybe 1.5, so I sleep for like 20 something hours. When everybody's convinced, I wake up somewhere very far away.
Don't bury me. Don't make the mistake of burying me.
No.
Let's not bury then unbury. No. Put another body there. When they say let's view, no.
Put a bunch of mealies in the coffin.
Exactly.
Put it underground.
Exactly. Tabo Besta.
It will start rotting and give off the same odor, I believe.
Then I'm gone. So that's it from us, guys. That's that. The questions are still left in the air. Are these people really dead or they're still alive? I mean, a lot of people have been speculating quite a lot of things. So you guys tell us, are these people dead or they're still alive? Whatever comments you have, leave it below in the comment sections and we'll really appreciate it. And yes, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share this particular video. And yes, there's more beautiful videos. You can watch this particular video on Markus
Jooste. Yeah.
Markus Jooste
did a whole thing on it.
Markus Jooste as well. He's the guy at the beginning who pulled off his death and gave off a lot of these questions. And also there's a lot of videos we've done, and we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.
Ciao.